It's time for Measure Twice.
Welcome to Measure Twice. I'm Rob Perugini, along with Chris Kramer from C. Kramer Interiors and Joel Graber from Graber Custom Remodeling. This is the show that helps you envision your home's potential, and you're listening to us on Michiana's News Talk 95.3 MNC. We're brought to you in part by Leatherman Supply. Everything doors, cabinets, and countertops, with a showroom now open in Granger right next to C. Kramer Interiors. And Hoosier Hardwood Floors, Michiana's trusted and valued experts on hardwood floors. You can visit them at HoosierHardwoodFloors.com. It's a glorious summer day. Summer finally arrived, and like a blanket of wet wool.
Hot, wet wool.
Hot, wet wool. That'd be my band name.
Hot, wet wool.
Ladies and gentlemen, HWW. Hot, wet wool. But, you know, that's the way it goes. Like, so millions of people are finding out whether their air conditioner actually works this week. You know, little tip. It's probably worth it to get the service. I'm just saying.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, and, you know, you got to be careful because there's HVAC people who they're not, you know, they're servicing, but they're also nonstop selling, which can be frustrating. You know what I mean? But you can say no.
Yeah.
But then nothing worse, right, than finding out that your air conditioner doesn't work. That's just, oof.
Yeah.
I've been there once. Had to get the emergency super cheap air conditioner from like a box store. Stick it in a window. We're all huddled in one room. Huddled around the air.
And then it gets warmer because you're all in there.
Yeah, we're all breathing the air. We're all putting that air back. Oh, my goodness. But that's just this time of year. That's it. You know,
Yep.
I know in your houses, you're just now professional landscapers. So that's nice. You mow a lot, right, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have
Too much.
I know.
It's like, oh, I want to start this project outside. Oh, wait, I got to spend 3 hours mowing first.
Does it really take 3 hours?
2.5.
Is it because there's trees in the way and you have to like get around them all?
No, it's just 3 acres.
And it's
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, mine takes 2 hours.
just even you're not using one of those old fashioned push ones with the blades, right? You're on a rider. Yeah.
I have a robot.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Did you get a robot mower?
It's him.
He
He's
should
the
though.
robot.
I am the robot.
He should get one. You should get
I've
one.
seen
Chris.
those. I've seen them, and it's out on people's property, and it's like, what is that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a Roomba.
Don't get me started. I've done lots of research in that. A lot of research. Now, my lawn is too small for me to get that. But,
Too small?
yeah.
I would think.
Well, they make smaller ones. Let me put it this way. Sweet Baby at Home is unwilling to release the funds. Ever since I bought the pizza oven, I can't
You
go-
have a pizza oven?
I do. I highly
He
recommend.
went rogue.
I went
He
rogue and bought a pizza oven.
Do you use it?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm just because it seems to be like it's one of those luxury purchases that you buy thinking, oh, this is going to be great, and then no one ever uses it.
Well, so I'm a ringer because I was brought up in a pizza store. My family back east owns pizza stores. So, pizza is an important part of our existence. We make pizza as a family.
It's the Perugini culture.
That's right.
Important
That's right.
part of it.
And once you get out, just FYI, pizza ovens are great. They have you can multitask with them.
I'm not knocking them. It just seems like it's one of those things that, is it in the house or outside?
Outside. I didn't get the, because you have to vent the
I was going to
inside.
say,
If you're going to do
because
it
of the
right,
heat,
you got to vent.
yeah, you have to.
But the inside ones are too dry anyway to make your pizza pretty good. That's why you have to vent them, because you need air circulation. But whatever, I digress. Once you figure out how to get the pizza off the peel onto the inside the pizza oven, which it's going to take you, could take you up to 10 pizzas to figure that out. Once you figure that out, you may never order a pizza out. It may cease.
So you put your DiGiorno's out there and
First of all, you could be struck by lightning in my household by saying that. We did talk about that. We're not opposed to frozen pizza, so we do have frozen pizzas. We doctor them though.
Yeah.
So we get a frozen pizza and we
A little olive oil and whatever.
we change it a lot. We haven't done that yet because they're frozen and
I'm
the thing
just
is so
joking.
hot.
I can't imagine you'd have a pizza oven for a frozen pizza.
No, but you could. I was telling. Was I telling you the other day about shrimp?
Yeah,
You can
were
make
saying
shrimp
about
in it. I'm excited to do that.
Shrimp in a pizza oven?
Yeah, it's really just think about it. It's an oven that gets to like
5,000 degrees.
Yeah, so you can.
You can bake pottery in there.
Yeah, you could bake pottery.
Just short. It's just got to be short.
It's just tiny pottery. Like, it's not very tall. So you anything that's flat, you can make a pancake in about 8 seconds in that thing. They are. I do recommend it. I'm not saying that because.
Does yours have the rotating that you can put multiples in?
No, it's tiny. It's not a big one. It's a nice one. It's top of the line one.
But what you're saying is that purchase caused you problems for wanting to get the yard robot.
I'm 18 months from being able to go rogue again, based on my experience in my house. But I would get one, Chris. So they're not scared to charge you, so don't get sticker shock. But they have electric ones that run solar, so you charge the battery, but it also has solar. So if it were to die in the middle of the field, it will come back home. It comes back
because of the solar.
Yeah,
I have too many trees; it wouldn't get the sun.
It only needs like an hour and a half of solar.
But if you don't have solar, then what good is it?
But it has a battery. That solar is just if it runs out of batteries far away from home
to charge it.
That's the only thing it does. But it's GPS. So, because me, being from New Jersey, I'm just like, somebody's going to steal that thing. They're going to see it out there. They're going to come out and take it.
Yeah. You can track it.
Right? It won't work off your property. It just won't work.
Interesting.
And you can't program it off of your property.
Interesting.
Well, the ones I was looking at. I would get one. You kidding me? You just set that thing loose?
I can't see it for acreage.
No, they make ones for acreage. They make 56ers.
Holy cow. Where do you store that sucker? Well, same thing with I guess.
Yeah,
it's not much different than a lawnmower.
It doesn't take up as much room as a lawnmower because when you charge it, there's a...
Well, they're only like
they're
high.
only 2 feet high.
Yeah.
And then some of them go into their charger, and then the charger lifts them up. And so they lean against the wall.
Yeah, those things definitely. I can imagine that you're getting charged a pretty penny for that.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds expensive.
Yeah. You're buying... It's a car. You're buying a car.
Seriously?
But
they're that expensive?
The entry level one I saw was about $99, just under 10.
1,000?
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
But
I'm gonna stick with what I.
Guess how many times you're mowing the lawn for the rest of your life?
You're not.
None times.
I don't know. I don't trust it. You still have to get out there and edge and trim and do all that stuff.
They don't have that yet.
Dang it! Gonna left a 2-foot spread by my.
I know you would be there giving it the business.
Yeah.
$10,000. Get closer to the tree.
That's right. Darn it.
Now, the earlier renditions
take out my tree. I don't know.
Yeah.
The earlier renditions were trouble. They pets were
going missing.
They weren't pet friendly. But now they have like the Roombas inside the house. Like it knows when something's coming, and it'll stop.
Oh yeah.
You opened a rabbit hole.
Well, there's a little bit difference between a Roomba vacuum and a lawnmower. There's a kind of a blade. That's
kind of one's deadly.
Yes.
And the other is, but it's ideal for you guys. I'm going to keep pressuring you guys.
No, I'm not spending $10,000 for a lawnmower.
Well, you'll spend more than that for yours because I think the $10,000 was for like a little bit smaller lawn.
No, I'm not paying that. Nope.
What's cool though is like these things. Look, it's only a matter of time before it's affordable. Like it's just not affordable now because
nobody buys them.
Yeah,
I've only seen one.
I've never seen one in person.
I've seen one.
Seen them online.
I've seen one. I saw. I was a house down by my church. I was driving by and I was like, "Hey, it's out in the yard, just doing its thing."
There's a house out in Bristol that I go by on my way home periodically. That it'll be out there. The first time I saw it, I was like, "What is? Oh, I see what's going on there."
And you wanted one.
I just thought, wonder how efficient.
I wouldn't. I mean, if somebody
you wouldn't turn one down, man.
No, absolutely not.
Are you looking it up?
I don't know if they're called.
I just Google like
yard Roomba.
Roomba lawnmower. I don't think Roomba makes them. But.
And we talked. Was it here? Who, was it you that had said you had a buddy that had like one of those robots and it will clean the grill?
No, that wasn't me. But I've seen those too. The automatic. I don't want an automatic grill cleaner.
Me either.
and I need to burn my knuckles. I can't have hair in my hands.
You can
and
get
that's
one
the only
on.
way to
You
get it
can
off.
get them on Amazon.
Of course you can. They're already programmed to let the Chinese know what your dimensions are of your house.
Home Depot has them.
Is that a wives' tale? Does China really like have a record of like through their automatic vacuums of like average size American homes and stuff like that? I read some conspiracy thing that they were.
Come on, if that probably wouldn't be all that hard.
No, I would think
That'd
not.
be like easy, I think.
All you need to do is take a picture of roofs and you'll know. How big they are.
Yeah.
Oh man, we talked about nothing. Well, this is a good time. When we come back, Chris will do some more research. We'll clear up the lawnmower thing, and then we'll go into what we're actually going to talk about. This is Measure Twice. Welcome back to Measure Twice. I'm Rob Perugini, along with Joel Graber from Graber Custom Remodeling and Chris Kramer from C. Kramer Interiors. This is the show that helps you envision your home's potential. And you're listening to us on Michiana's News Talk 95.3 MNC. We're brought to you in part by Leatherman Supply. Everything windows, doors, cabinets, and countertops with the showroom now open in Granger, right next to C. Kramer Interiors and Hoosier Hardwood Floors. Michiana's trusted and valued experts on hardwood floors. You could visit them at HoosierHardwoodFloors.com. Well, we kind of got on a tangent about lawn Roombas. What is the technical term? Automated
robotic lawnmower.
And I was wrong, but I haven't looked at them in a few years. But they've come down. You did some research while we were off air.
Yeah. I think the most expensive one I found was $5,000, $49.99.
And that was still it was under 2 acres, right?
I couldn't.
1.73.
1.73.
A day. And then you had to charge it, which, well, you know what I hear there is I hear if you just have a normal lawn, it's probably not terrible.
Yeah.
You'd still have to weed whack though.
Oh, even with a lawnmower, you have to do that.
Yeah. So you're still doing yard work.
I don't mind mowing. It's the weed whacking that.
Yeah, I agree. Mowing is easy. You're just sitting there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, weed whack, especially with yours. Like mine, I can weed whack my whole lawn in like 10 minutes. But you guys have
I have like
acres.
40 minutes of trimming.
And you have to.
Yeah.
Or else it looks like you didn't do anything.
Yeah, I have to, or my wife is like pissed. So
Why have her do it?
yeah,
Let's try that out. Next week we'll talk about it.
Yeah, that'll be the next show.
We'll have to have Dr. Phil on.
Yes.
I don't think we can get him in that short notice.
that's funny.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, but that does wreck it. It's like when your lawn looks great and you miss a spot of weed whacking. You ever do that? Like you're,
Yep.
And then you're like,
It's like, oh man, I gotta get that thing out again. Mine's battery. Mine's a battery powered. My property, it dies before I can get halfway through.
you have to have a couple batteries.
Yeah, it's like, oh man.
I had a
Or you run out of string, or runs out of the whatever.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
and then you're
That
like,
is gonna
oh man, I gotta walk
string
all the way
this
over. I
thing.
gotta restring it, and it's all the way over in here. And
I'll tell you though that the string that you can get now with carbon, that's money.
carbon string.
Yeah, I don't know what it's made of. It looks to me like it's metally. Like
Does it wear out like plastic stuff?
doesn't fray, so it's always like razor sharp.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a little pricey, but
Well, yeah, I could. Could you probably don't change it as often?
no. Matter of fact,
That's ideal.
now my lawn is 1/10 of your lawn, right? I've had the same pack of string for 6 years. It just doesn't break. I can break it when my edger broke and I was using the weed whacker to edge. I could run it down there because it was just hitting cement.
Yeah.
But regular grass, I'm going, I'm only making it longer maybe once. I mean, it's pretty, they've come a long way. Coming from a landscaper as a kid, when that was the worst, you didn't want to be on weed whacker duty because all you were doing is changing string.
Yep.
Ugh.
Yep.
But the batteries are I've had a battery go, and the lithium batteries are awesome because they give you full power up until they're out of power.
Yep. I have everything. I have is battery except my lawnmower.
Which, for your job. I don't know. It's going to be a while.
They didn't advise it.
Yeah.
Nope.
But when the battery goes, it's like having your car stolen.
But I'm on my second riding lawnmower in 3 years, so.
Well, that's because you drink and drive. No, I'm just kidding.
You'd think so.
You have the trees from Modor. They're getting in front of you.
Yes,
that's funny.
They're moving around out there.
I totaled one. Who totals a lawnmower?
That is still one of the funniest. I mean, I know it wasn't funny to you.
No, it wasn't funny.
But it was pretty funny to Joel and I.
Yeah. Totaled the lawnmower.
How do you total?
I think about that every time, but almost every time I get my lawnmower out.
It's really funny because this is the thing that goes, what? How fast does your lawnmower go?
I mean, he's got
like
Dukes of Hazzard. This thing.
Were you?
I could make it fly, man.
Let's get the ramp.
Watch that berm.
I would love to just see Chris mowing the lawn like, woo! He's got like a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
I've tried drinking. I have like a soft drink or something. You can't do it.
No, it's
impossible.
All you do is sprinkle your soft drink throughout
everywhere. It's like,
well, and how can you control the mower?
You can't.
And
because it's zero turn, so you have to have your hands on both of the controls,
or else you're going to go left or right.
That's how you total a lawnmower.
He wasn't even drinking alcohol.
Yeah,
I'm just talking about drinking liquid.
Yeah.
Your dad totaled one too?
No, he has his mower is a joystick.
Really?
So then you have
he's like a fighter pilot.
Hand.
I just thought I'd get one of those cup hats with you put with the
there
straw.
You go.
Yes. Well, then you have to wear like a sleeveless white T-shirt while you're mowing the lawn too. That would be good.
Wouldn't that be a riot? People driving down the road with your
oh my goodness,
like beer
especially
can.
and if you were in like the white sleeveless tee with like a big gold chain.
No,
come on.
I don't have one of those.
And cut off jeans and sandals with brown socks. That would come on.
I can't do yard work in shorts because you get eaten alive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's also not professional. Come on.
I've gotten too many bug bites and poison ivy and all that other.
Joel and I are going to spring for. You ever see the Masters golf tournament? Like a jumper, like the caddies wear for you to do lawn work in. So you look like the help. So when the Jehovah's Witness shows up, you can just act like you work there. Like, oh, they're not home.
No pamphlets today.
We're not talking about we're not informing it. Well, we are. We're talking about mowing your lawn.
Yeah, but I don't know what you were wanting to talk about.
Well, it's going to pale in comparison to a battery-operated lawnmower.
Is it?
I don't know. We were going to... It's the time of year where people are spring cleaning, like you're seeing, people doing yard sales, like they're all popping up and stuff. And so generally we talk about finding space this time of year. And where are the secret places that you find space when you're remodeling or if you're trying to reorganize a home, like where do you find that space? And sometimes we're like taking from you're just rearranging the room. Sometimes you can find an area.
I usually find money. Or
find
something
money.
I couldn't find before. Oh, that's the remote. That's where I went.
I think, but you don't get a lot of declutter projects in your like that's not kind of your niche. In the
decluttering,
yeah, like some designers have that on there.
It's not necessarily even decluttering, like
or home organization.
Yeah, that's not where you end up doing it because it's part of.
Yeah, but it's not like.
But that's not your like.
You don't
get hired with that.
No,
as the mission. No. It just happens because, right? A good design
it's just part of it. Yeah.
Right, but I bet you do get people though. You're like, this room feels cramped. You ever, like just
clutter?
Is it clutter generally is the culprit? But it isn't clutter. I'm going to say this delicately. Clutter's like a problem. It's kind of like a problem. It's not like alcoholism. That's not what I'm saying. But it's kind of like people who get cluttered. It's part of them sometimes. It's tough to undo.
Or they don't have the storage capabilities to.
So sometimes it's just like thrust.
Not always. I don't. You're thinking like hoarders.
Yeah, but I think people tend to like not quite to hoarding. Okay?
Yeah.
I meant people like to have things out.
Right. And some people do, some people don't.
Right.
I mean, it's part of the individual person,
But
their preferences.
I feel like in your role, and even in your role too, Joel, you're kind of like the one that can come in as the third party, neutral party that can kind of talk people through it. Like, okay, how does it feel to have something out of the way or put away? We've all been in the house where somebody's got the giant desk with 70,000 pictures on it that you couldn't possibly see. It's like you see none of the pictures. You know what I'm talking about? It's like my aunts have those, where it's like every picture ever on a desk. If you bump it, it's like dominoes. They just all fall down on there. That type of thing. How do you work through that with somebody?
You don't unless they ask you.
He drops some hints like,
we can rearrange these a little bit differently.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Do you have to do that?
you know all these people?
Some of these came with the desk.
Pretty sure some of those pictures came with the frame.
Yeah, that's what I say. This is from Target when you got all oh, look at this. Somebody on the horse. Oh, just a horse.
Well, we're running out of time, but my cousin Danny was modeled for a boat company, right? Just on the side. Like, he wasn't like a model, but they were like looking for somebody. And my aunt and uncle had that picture in a frame. And so when you go to the house, you would look at this frame, and it was like, did this come with the frame? It's Dan. It's like,
that's hilarious.
Anyway, when we come back, we'll help you maybe not declutter, but figure out where those secret spaces are in your house. This is Measure Twice. Welcome back to Measure Twice. I'm Rob Perugini, along with Chris Kramer from C. Kramer Interiors and Joel Graber from Graber Custom Remodeling. This is the show that helps you envision your home's potential. And you're listening to us on Michiana's News Talk 95.3 MNC. We're brought to you in part by Leatherman Supply. Everything windows, doors, cabinets, and countertops, with the showroom open in Granger right next to C. Kramer Interiors. And Hoosier Hardwood Floors, Michiana's trusted and valued experts on hardwood floors. You can visit them at HoosierHardwoodFloors.com. And I'm not scared to tell you that we believe in our sponsors. That's why they're our sponsors. So, check them out if you can. That'd be great. And feel free to call Chris or Joel if you have a project. Why not? You guys know what you're doing. But we're talking about secret spaces.
Secret
not
spaces?
really. Places you can find space in your house that might not be obvious. Maybe I didn't make that clear enough, like on the last, last segment. But like those, where do you find extra space, Joel? If you get a remodeling project and they're like, we're a little cramped, we want to expand. Where are some of the places you look first, like to help out the homeowner? Like, where do you kind of steal space from? Without knocking out a wall,
right.
Without like making the house bigger, like outside. Like from the inside.
Right, yeah. Well, I can think of like three projects right now that we're going to be, like, one's gone, two of them are ongoing, and one that will start that, like, well, the Polidor house, we're going to turn a bedroom into part of the master suite.
Yeah, also they had a closet. Was that we can go on a rabbit hole with the Polidor house, but remember they had the phone pass through?
Yeah, so that was like the butler's pantry.
Yeah.
That's getting minimized in order to put a powder room in.
But nobody has a butler's pantry
right,
anymore. Like in a
Want to
modern.
bet?
Chris is
what?
Like, why, I just built one. Did they really?
Yeah.
That pretty common?
That's not something that's unusual necessarily, but it's still going to have a butler's pantry. It's just going to be smaller.
Right.
In order to accommodate
How about like
a powder room.
Closets and
well, with Jasper's house, we're putting there's a good sized coat closet that we're putting a half bath in, a powder room basically.
The coat closet, so useful, But you're right. If you're not even using your front door, all the coat closets in older homes are all near the front door, and it's like everybody uses the garage now.
Yeah, almost nobody goes to the front door anymore.
It's kind of crazy.
It's crazy.
But you still need one.
Mm-hmm.
Like my house is a new house, and it's got a coat closet right next to the front door. And I'm like, that's great.
You have to go all the way to the front door.
But there's also one in the mudroom.
Yeah.
By the, like, they clearly identified that's what we're using. But so closets, like you rob them, but like when you're going to take a closet, you take the whole closet?
Not always.
It depends on what you need and how big the closet is.
So like a master bedroom, you might look at a wall. It gets really tricky in a master bedroom, doesn't it? Because you don't want to take closet space from.
No, you
want
to add closet space.
Typically, you want to add closet space. A lot of times, in master suites, especially like 90s into the 2000s, it was the bedrooms were, or the bathrooms were too small, and the closet was you had this, or the closet was really small. You have a whole lot of wasted space in your bedroom and even in the bathroom.
Well, that's because the bedrooms back there, master bedrooms were really large,
Right.
and your bathrooms and closets were small. Now it's reversed.
That, or it was a big bathroom because they had a big garden tub in it.
Yep.
And like, well, nobody's using that ever anymore.
Right.
You can take that space and
When I look at,
repurpose it if you need to.
and when you look at the size of master bedrooms now, the master bedrooms are smaller, but you have bigger bathrooms and larger closet spaces.
Right.
Yeah, because nobody's sitting in their bedroom.
No.
You know,
Lounging
yeah, hanging out.
with the bonbons.
With the bonbons. I did see a house on Zillow. I think I was on Zillow. You know, they're all everywhere. But I was on Zillow, and the master bedroom had an office attached to it.
Yeah, that's not uncommon. I've seen that a lot.
Which was, I was like, okay, now that seems useful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, although your office right off your bedroom seems like very close to work. I'm so close to work that.
Yeah.
But I understand.
I can work in my pajamas.
Yeah. Well,
Or not at all.
A lot of people are. All right.
That's right.
So, but when you're looking at like taking space, you know, having space in a bathroom, let's say there's, or at least what I've noticed is that bathrooms kind of all have a very similar setup. Even if
toilet,
I mean,
sink.
Yeah, there's stuff in
shower,
there that's going to be in there. But I'll go so far as to saying there's even a very similar order, you know, like to it. Like you're going to see the sink before you see the toilet.
Well, hopefully.
Well, you don't want to see the toilet.
Exactly. And so that arrangement is kind of, you don't want to adjust that arrangement. If your bathroom's already small, right, is there anything you can do with the arrangement to make it bigger? Are there things that, you know, you can rearrange in a bathroom?
Not if it's small. I mean, it's you're kind of limited.
And if you don't have a place to go with it, yeah, you're.
And I think one of the things that most clients aren't aware of is there are specific dimensions you have to have in order to have it functional.
Yeah.
There are codes that say you have to have so many inches of, you know, between the toilet and the vanity. You know, it's just
right.
Or I want to put a separate room in for the toilet, or a commode room. It's like, well, the minimum is 3 feet by 5 feet, so you've got to. Where we're going to get that space.
Right.
So
if you're not putting a commode room in, is it still 3 feet by 5, or is that just the dimensions for
that's what you need for a separate room for
Gotcha.
the toilet.
And you don't want a tiny toilet.
I can't remember, is it 19 inches?
15 inches from the center of the.
That's what it is. Toilet to the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's
just standard. Like if it without.
Is that on all around? Or is that
It's side to side.
Yeah.
side to side?
Right.
Not,
So you need
Those are your minimums.
Yep, 15 from the center to the whatever.
okay.
If there's a vanity there, so you can't put the toilet like
So if there's a vanity, it's got to be 15 inches from the
center of the toilet to the vanity.
And that's just anywhere that toilet's going. That's what's going to be around it.
Yep.
It's got a 15-inch from the center bubble.
Those are your codes and so that sometimes we work with clients who they don't know those things. So they're like, oh, you can just put it over here. Well, no.
And if you do, and they also don't realize that, if you do that, it's not going to be comfortable.
Right. Right.
Even if it wasn't code.
Right. 'Cause you're,
Right, well,
You'd be like squeezed in there, your arms all bunched up, and you're like,
why is this
You
so
can't get a-
stressful?
you can't get a good push.
Oh my God. Wow, that was a Chris thing. You said a Chris thing. Those words are for Chris, not for Joel's. Yeah, you're right. And I saw, I'm reading an article like where some people are sneaking some space. It's like they take a good look at the shower, and some showers are big for no reason.
right.
That's true.
That is true.
For no reason, meaning
Right.
there's like space that isn't usable.
Right.
Because if you have a giant shower in one head, what are you doing with the other 4 feet of the shower? Like that can be space that you can use, right? I mean,
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's places like that, yeah. I mean, we've started a project recently where we're taking some space out of a garage because the garage is big and there's room to bump out into that for a bathroom.
so does it? What is that like? So when you're going into the garage, how do you build into the garage? Is there? I mean, it's not. How do you do that? You just take the wall down and
Frame up a floor.
like you're not pouring cement though, right?
Not typically, no.
It's just a wood.
Yeah, most of the
Part.
time. I mean, most of the time, that's what your walls. I mean, that's what your walls are anyway, and so you're tying into the wood walls and the wood framing, and your walls are sitting on.
If you do that, do you have to go the whole span of the garage, or do you just have it
Not
bump out?
necessarily. Just take the space that you need, and you can reorganize the garage accordingly. I mean, in this particular instance, there's plenty of room.
Right? Was it like a custom home?
I mean, it's an older home.
Why I'm
There's
saying that
still
is
a big-
because
big
sometimes,
garage. I don't know.
like with the new homes, sometimes the garage you only have 3 feet on either side of the.
Yeah,
the
no,
garage
you're right. Yeah,
doors.
some of these places that are built like spec type houses or whatever, you're definitely it's not built with that extra square
Right.
footage.
But custom homes different. Like it's really cool to like go into a custom home garage and you look like to the right or the left, and it's like it could be a third bay, but it's most of a third bay. But they had in mind like, oh, you can park a lawnmower over there. We don't need a whole other door.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's custom home, they have all the decked out cabinetry and
Yeah,
all
it's
of
pretty.
that.
Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of cool
Plenty
stuff.
of depth.
When we
Yeah.
come back, we'll maybe talk about the difference of spaces in custom versus, like track homes. When we come back, this is Measure Twice. Welcome back to Measure Twice. I'm Rob Perugini, along with Joel Graber from Graber Custom Remodeling and Chris Kramer from C. Kramer Interiors. This is the show that helps you envision your home's potential. And you're listening to us on Michiana's News Talk 95.3 MNC. And we're brought to you in part by Leatherman Supply. Everything windows, doors, cabinets, and countertops, with a showroom now open in Granger next to C. Kramer Interiors and Hoosier Hardwood Floors. Michiana's trusted and valued experts on hardwood floors. You can visit them at HoosierHardwoodFloors.com. We're talking about stealing space. And, I don't mean like the final frontier. I mean, in your home, like where can you find it? We kind of were talking about garages, and that is a place that you can sometimes find it, like bumping out a wall. But Chris, we were like thinking about how ingenious some of the new builds are with the garage spaces, how they're configured with like drains in the floors.
I don't think you can have drains anymore.
You cannot?
I don't think so.
Is
I
that
believe that's that. That code said no more. People were dumping oil and antifreeze and things. So
people?
Always somebody has to ruin it.
One bad apple. Because talk about making it easy to clean your garage.
yeah, it's against code now.
Really? You can have a pet wash, though, right? You can have.
Yeah. Oh gosh, see that all the time.
Yeah, that's kind of.
But see, that would drain directly to like whatever your septic or
main waistline.
yeah.
How hard would it be to add a pet station in your garage? Let's pretend you had the space, like you had like the left side of your garage had a. Is that hard to do?
I mean, you'd have to cut the drain in, dig it in.
It's a lot of work.
Seems
Yeah.
complicated.
You have to want it really badly.
Yeah, yeah, that does. Okay,
That you want planned ahead of time.
yeah. Now outside, you could probably build
Now
it pretty easy.
my brother did theirs in their mudroom, their dog washing station. They took
So
space
Do they
from the
epoxy
mudroom.
the floor then?
No, they did not.
They should have.
Yeah, they should have.
No, they shouldn't have.
This is like our civil war here is epoxy floors versus non. I'm Switzerland. I can.
That's when I see these barn dominiums and the concrete floors, and it's like, no.
Well, the thing is you don't have to do a concrete floor.
Most of them are. A lot
I
of them
know.
are. They're stained concrete. It's like, no,
You can.
That's got to
you
be
can-
a cost.
I'm out.
That's a cost decision for sure.
I'm out. No.
There's so many things you can do there. You wouldn't have to just leave it concrete. Yeah, that's a mistake.
You could put a floor on concrete, can't you?
Well, hopefully they do it all the time. It's called a slab.
No, I mean like you could put like an engineered
You can, yes.
floor.
Yeah,
Is it a bad idea to do that?
No.
tile, engineered hardwood. I mean, LVP.
LVP.
Anything you could carpet. Whatever.
Yep.
But I think when people leave cement, I really think that's a cost decision in them.
Really?
sure it
I just thought it was part of the look.
I don't think so. I feel,
Maybe sometimes. Some
yeah.
people that,
I mean, obviously,
some people
right.
that didn't have a good designer.
They didn't have
They'd
somebody.
be like, "What are you doing? That's terrible."
do you when you have to make like a hard suggestion? Do you like this is a major suggestion? This is an important suggestion.
He asterisks. He puts an asterisk beside
Do you
it.
do like air quotes around like? I think you should consider carpet. I don't.
I usually ask the question, have you considered doing this?
And there,
Oh, I didn't know you could.
and
Yes.
that's how you get there. But we're talking about stealing space. We can get down that tangent. We're just in danger of not talking about our topic as usual. But if you're in, this is really a Chris question. If you're not going to remodel your house and you need to find space in a living room, do you just get smaller furniture? Do you just get smaller stuff?
Well, the right scale is important because too many times I see overscaled pieces in a room and
What does that mean? What do you mean?
too large for the space.
and that will make it.
Tight.
Yeah.
Tight, crowded.
Like
And
if
if
you have to move sideways to get between two things.
Yeah, that can be a problem.
I mean, some people inherit things, right? We talk about this all the time. You inherit a couch from an aunt that is great, like a great piece of furniture. I mean, Chris sells furniture that is inheritable. Wouldn't you say that, Chris? Like,
Yeah, it's heirloom quality.
yeah. And if it's big, you
Yeah,
don't
but if
wanna-
it doesn't fit your space, because you're inheriting it, it was originally bought for a certain space, not necessarily yours.
right, you got to shoehorn it in there. I guess that can happen.
Yeah, and it can be too bulky, and it could be. It just makes brings the space in visually.
Right, right. Can you go the other way? Can something be too small?
Oh, yeah, I mean, you can get the wrong scale the other way, and it's like,
I'm
dollhouse
wondering-
furniture.
I was like, I wonder which is worse. Because I don't know that you would notice the too small right away.
No, I
think you'd notice too big right away, but
Sometimes overscale is better than underscale.
that's where I was kind of going. Is like if you had to fudge one.
Over is probably a little better than under because, yeah,
Have you been in rooms where you go in and it's been underscaled?
not underscale, mainly overscale.
Mainly it's because like that is kind of like I don't.
And then you get the right size pieces in, and it's like, oh,
it's like comfortable.
yeah, my room feels better, bigger.
Yeah,
So
it's like you can't
can
quite put your finger on it
And
because
you can steal space by color too.
how do you do that? What?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
What? Really?
Yes, you can paint if you paint the walls a specific tones. It can either bring in the room or expand the room.
Say more
Visually.
'cause I
Yeah.
don't. How do you?
What expands? it?
Yeah. How do you
What-
make a room
Lighter colors will expand it. You could put mirrors. If you do mirrors in your room, you can expand the feel of the room without it being. you can play with mirror to make the room feel
So
larger.
the mirror on the ceiling makes it feel like it's a really tall space.
What do mirrors on the floors do?
No,
I can't do that. It's naughty.
but you can expand space with mirrors, paint color. So it visually expands the space. It doesn't physically expand
right.
the space.
And is it a subtle or can it be dramatic?
It can be dramatic.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you should see some of the really beautiful things you can do with mirror and, just picture molds and do mirrors and set inside your picture. I've seen that in, powder rooms to make it feel larger and give it more dimension.
Right.
Beautiful.
How do you convey that? Because this is an abstract concept.
Yeah.
So when you're with a customer, how do you convey that to a customer who's not a professional, right?
You have to find images that you can show them to kind of get the idea, your concept across.
Right.
Especially if I'm in the house and we're talking about some of these ideas, and they're you can see they're not comprehending what you're.
Kind of like I was, like when you were saying that, I was like,
But then you say, okay, here, let me show you this, and you pull this. I'm thinking something not this exactly, but something like this.
yeah.
We can draw it out and show it to you, but that's how you get those concepts going. And
So if you have a cavernous room, because I'm really curious. Let's say you have a great room with big ceilings and big windows. Would you want to do the opposite then? Have like darker colors? So
you can have darker colors, and if you have vaulted ceilings and it feels like it's too high, the way you hang your artwork can bring the ceiling down, or if you want to do some type of molding treatment, anything that kind of stops the eye and it kind of brings the ceiling heights down.
Right.
So use
it the other way.
And if you want to make your ceilings feel taller, do stripes. Because stripes will take their vertical line draws your eye up, makes the rooms feel taller. Crown molding will make a room feel taller.
Chris, should I wear striped shirts that way? Will I appear taller to people if I
Your horizontal stripes.
like horizontal
stripes are better than vertical stripes. At least for me now.
When you're saying to wear.
yeah. Can you imagine horizontal stripes in a room? I don't know that works.
Oh, but that brings the ceiling down.
You won't have a wall that's stripes.
Yeah. What? Yes, you can.
Really?
Yeah, stripe wallpaper. I think horizontal stripes are really cool.
Now I'm going to have to look that up on my own.
Horizontal stripes will bring your room down visually.
So if you have giant vaulted ceilings.
Or tall ceilings, not even vaulted, but if the horizontal stripes will bring the room down visually.
We are out of time. Thanks for listening. This has been Measure Twice.
Podcasts by Federated Media.